fine, fine group of. Whoa, echo. Hello.
Echo.
Echo. Oh, I did hear me.
The dolphin.
I was thinking more
All
of the Toyota.
What? Cars? Yeah.
Fucking
Cars and
race
sports.
car McGee over here.
I'm getting echoes again, guys.
Me too.
That's probably me.
Do you don't have like earbuds you could grab, Josh? I can deal with it. I'm not too worried about it.
What? I turned you down.
Oh gosh. Brett.
What?
Josh, do you have earbuds or anything you could use?
Yeah, you guys are my buds.
Yes, we are your buds, but do you buds to put in your ears, earphones?
I'm not. I don't have any fears. I'm pretty brave.
Earbuds for your ears.
Ear butt? My butt?
No butts. No butts about it.
Oh, no buts about what?
About headset. Get a headset, earphones, headbuds.
Headbutt, what?
My headset that I used to use on my netbook is a USB headset, and this doesn't have a USB port.
Ah.
I could go. I have earbuds in my car.
All right, hold on.
You want me to go get them?
No, wait. Brett, say something.
What?
Okay. I don't hear an echo, but can you hear us all right, Josh?
Yeah, I have you turned down pretty quiet.
Well, I don't think the echo would be that big of a deal.
I'm not here. I didn't hear it there.
I don't hear it now.
All right, let's just do this thing.
Okay.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Now, yeah, let's just. All right, are you recording yet, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Nice,
podcast is live.
Hello and welcome to the Sega Addicts After Hours episode 22.5. It's a 0.5 episode because only half of the cast is here. With me today, I am Scotty Mo, didn't say that yet, but here I am, editor-in-chief of Sega Addicts, and with me today is the owner, Brett Hatfield.
Help me, Leon!
And he used to write for the site, now he's not writing for the site. Joshua Newey is with us today.
Skype!
Oh, good. Please, are you going to only talk when you play guitar today, Josh? Is that how it's going to work?
That's how I live my life.
That's how you live your life. Yes, it is. So, we're going to do kind of something different today, but before we get into the different thing, first let's talk about what we've been playing. We'll let the guest go first. Josh, what have you been playing?
Okay. Hi. Well, first off, hi, guys. It's been a very long time since I talked to you at all.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So,
thank you. Thank you for having me. And just a heads up to the listeners, if I'm interrupting them constantly, it's because I can barely hear them. So sorry.
Right. No worries.
Okay.
Oh, there's an echo now.
Yeah, I turned it up. God damn it.
Brett, Brett, you are recording, right?
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
Professional all over the place.
All right. So, yeah, but it's been a long time, and it's good to be back for a podcast for a moment. But for games that I have been playing, I've been playing a lot. Should I say all the things I've been playing since the last time?
We don't limit it to just Sega stuff anymore. Well, that's kind of how the kids table did it anyway. But we just talk about whatever. But whatever you've been playing and having the most fun with. You don't have to talk about like every single thing. Just some highlights, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't been playing Sega stuff at all, so that wouldn't matter. Yeah, I've been playing a lot more Spelunky. I'm addicted to the daily challenge and trying to beat Matt J, who is also a former Sega Addicts writer, on the daily challenge, and I suck at the game, and it's driving me crazy trying to beat him week to week. Or day to day, I should say.
I haven't tried it yet. I can't remember. I feel like that's in a random bundle I bought.
The game is so good. Have you not played Spelunky at all?
No, I don't think so. I might have it on my Vita, actually.
It takes a little while to get acclimated to the difficulty of it, to really pick up on why it's so addictive. But once you understand all the mechanics of it and all the little nuances of how to get as far as possible and get as much money as possible. God, it's so freaking good. It's probably one of my favorite games of this generation because of that.
Cool.
I love it.
You
Guys, I
love it.
love it. You played it, Brett?
I have not actually.
Well, you should. Go download it now. Do it.
But look, now it will ruin the podcast. You really want me to risk that?
Yeah, don't do that yet. It might be
Okay.
killing the podcast that I'm just trying to send you guys a picture right now. Don't look at it yet, though.
Well, the title of it showed up in my thing, so I already know
Scotty
what it
mode
is.
art corner.
No, that won't happen. I should point out and should have already pointed out, listeners, we're doing things a little different. It's only an audio version, so if you're watching the video, you'll just have screenshots of each of us as we're talking, because we're having video issues, but it's okay, because the show must go on.
The show must go on.
I'm so glad you did that because I was about to.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
It is.
I've been playing Super Stardust HD, which, speaking of getting it in a bundle, I got that from one of PlayStation's or one of Sony's flash sale things, and that game's really, really good. It reminds me of Geometry Wars quite a bit, it's sort of like an evolution of old timey shooters into something new and creative, and I adore that game. It's too hard for me. I suck at it, but I love it. Are you guys familiar with how it plays?
Stardust, what?
It was a Super Stardust HD.
Stardust HD?
I played a demo of it back when Sony had that hacking thing, and that was one of the things they offered.
Oh, it's a directional shooter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a twin stick shooter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You're situated on a planet, like a full spherical planet, and you're flying all around the atmosphere of the planet as meteors and ships and enemies show up on it, and you have to shoot them to bits and survive as long as possible. And towards the higher stages, it gets to be like shmup levels of difficulty because the amount of things being fired at you and meteors coming in from the sky. It's really, really good.
If I remember correctly, it played a lot like Beat Hazard, or Beat Hazard played a lot like it. I can't quite remember because it's been a while.
Hazard.
That's on Steam. It's a shmup that's powered by whatever music you're listening to, which is pretty cool. It's like
interesting.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. I picked it up during the Steam summer sale, and it's pretty interesting how insane things can get because I've got some like pretty like high energy music. So when I've got like some of my like faster and like louder stuff going, it goes fucking nuts. So it's worth checking out.
I really like those kind of games that depending on music you put in, like some different CDs or whatever. Back in the PlayStation days, there was, I think, Monster Rancher did it. Was it
Monster Rancher? That was one of the.
Yeah.
We were talking about that in the interview with Elysian Shadows last week. We were talking about Monster Rancher and how cool it was that they let you just take pretty much any CD and it'll generate a monster for you.
Back in the day.
I still wish.
It's really cool. I remember seeing a list of like hundreds of CDs, what you would get for those specific ones. I remember thinking, oh my god, I've got Green Day Dookie. I'm going to get the Dookie monster.
It just pops in there like the big brother from Weird Science, right? That's what pops out.
Yeah. I was just thinking a lump of poop.
Well, that's what he is in there, pretty much.
Oh, is he? Okay, I haven't seen Weird Science.
What?
Yeah! Blasphemer! Guys!
Oh, yeah.
The most I remember about Weird Science was the commercials they aired during the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat cartoons.
Didn't know those existed.
They do, and they're...
What else have you been playing, Josh, before Brett starts talking about fighters?
I played Boom Blocks to its completion. That game's really, really good.
You're all over the place.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, one thing is I've been really leaning into Nintendo stuff lately because of
What?
I'm a huge Smash Brothers fan.
Because you left Sega Addicts and you thought, oh, I'll just dip into this. Oh, I'm sucked into Nintendo's vagina.
I'll just betray everything that I hold dear because, I'm betraying my second grader self.
Uh-huh.
I'd be so mad at myself. No, actually, I don't think I've ever really taken sides in that whole thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know, because I was listening to the Gaming of the Shrew. I don't know if you catch that at all. It's Alex and Chris and Tom and Mike.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I've been meaning to, yeah.
They have mini episodes, and they had one where a listener submitted just a simple question of, were you guys ever NES? Did you ever play NES? Or, because they always talk about Sega stuff, and it made me realize, I didn't really ever take sides. I just played Sega stuff more. I don't know.
Yeah, I took the Sega side because my brother was an asshole, and he had an SNES and I got a Genesis, so that kind of meant just to spite him. But I loved Nintendo just as much. I just Sega had a bigger meaning to me. The Genesis was the first console that was mine, and then the Dreamcast was the first console I purchased with my own money. So those two things made it more important to me. But I never really thought Sega was necessarily better than Nintendo. Anyway, play because of Smash Brothers. It's pathetic. I'm like haunting the boards, the groups, the Facebook groups. It's really sad how active I am in them because of Smash Brothers. I have been playing Project M, the Brawl mod on Wii that makes Brawl's gameplay.
Oh yeah, I've just learned about that, so I'm jealous that you are playing that.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, it just takes the Brawl physics for Melee, right? Or I mean the other way around. Sorry.
It's Melee physics for Brawl. It's not just like Melee, but it's closer to it. And there's what I wasn't expecting is there's a lot of little tweaks that they did that weren't really necessary, but they're just cool ideas that just spice up the gameplay, add a couple new little nuances. Like, have you guys played Brawl?
Oh hell yeah!
I haven't.
What?
I have a Wii.
You are a fighter fan, and you haven't played the most popular possibly the most popular crossover game ever created.
Well, the Wii isn't mine. That's the thing.
Oh, you don't have a Wii, Brett? Yeah,
my mom has the Wii.
The truth. I wouldn't say that about my own mother if I were you.
All right.
Oh God, I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast.
I hope your mom listens to this podcast. My parents barely know that I write for a Sega site. They don't need to hear this.
Do they listen to this?
No. Brett, put your mom on. Let's ask what she's been playing.
Yeah, does your mom like Brawl?
Really, the only good game we even have for the Wii is Sonic Colors.
I wouldn't call that. Never mind. That's like a 50% good game.
Sonic Colors is awesome.
Half of that game is good.
No, it's better than the other Sonic titles they have on there. The other Sonic exclusive titles.
Actually, Black Knight isn't that bad. I was surprised. It's not good, but it's not terrible by any means.
Black Knight's got great music, at least. I can definitely say that.
What's you playing anything else, Josh?
Well, just let me very quickly get into a couple neat little nuances that Project M adds that'll make you want to play it. For one thing, it reintroduces Mewtwo and Roy from Melee back into the game, which is really neat. But also, it splits Pokemon Trainer into the 3 different Pokemon, instead of the down Bs, they each have their own new down B move. And one cool thing is Ivysaur has Solar Beam as well, and you can charge up if you just hold B instead of doing his like bullet seed thing. He'll just charge as long as you're holding that, and he'll recharge 1% health as you're doing that.
Oh, that's cool. That kind of makes sense.
Damn.
Yeah, and once it's charged up full, you get one huge blast for Solar Beam, which is really neat. And there's a ton of those little touches throughout the whole game that kind of fix a lot of problems with Brawl and just add a couple new ideas. Because of the new Smash Brothers, I've also been just trying to play a bunch of franchise games that I haven't touched yet. I did play both of the Rhythm Heavens, and they're friggin' amazing.
I haven't played any of those.
Those are fun.
Hey, Mooch is back.
Mooch. Hey. You're
Everybody,
so
that's Josh's dog, Mooch. Every now and again, he'll put in his 2 cents.
Mooch.
I think he was saying Mewtwo is too OP.
Uh-huh. Probably exactly what he was saying.
He really likes Rhythm Heaven.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, played both Rhythm Heavens. I got the DS one for $1 on eBay.
Nice.
Damn.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to check an auction right now. I don't mean to be rude, but I am still listening.
Well, what's the auction?
Well, see, I'm super pissed. I was prepping for the Dreamcast Marathon. Micro plug. I'll plug more of that later. But and I found a lot sale of all the demo discs for like $8. And
What?
I was trying to get it, and then my stupid eBay app fucked up and didn't tell me the auction was almost over, so I totally lost it. So I'm trying to be a troll, or what's it called? Snipe some auctions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But keep talking. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Yeah, speaking of Dreamcast, since last podcast I did, I've required stupid amount more Dreamcast games. It's including Floygan Brothers and Demolition Racer, which is surprisingly good.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, I did not expect it to be so good, but I saw it as a hidden gem on a video on YouTube, so I decided to pick it up. But it just mixes Demolition Derby with a racing game, which is really interesting.
Okay. Do you ever play Full Auto? Any of those games?
No.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it's like those, but
It's just like them.
Oh.
I got Carrier and one thing and one thing that I kind of like spent a whole week just focusing on was I set up a huge setup in my bedroom to replay Quake 3 with a mouse and keyboard again.
Nice.
I'm surprised at how well that holds up.
It's like the controls. That's the reason I had a keyboard and mouse initially for my Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always like back in the day I played the hell out of that in Unreal Tournament. So.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get a copy of Unreal Tournament. I don't have that yet.
Yeah, I don't have it for Dreamcast only because I played the shit out of it on PC.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah, there's those two, and then I played Silent Scope with it, which Silent Scope you don't play.
I was gonna say that's probably really easy with you use a mouse for that?
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's incredibly easy.
Huh.
It's for nostalgia's sake. It's the only reason it's because I used to love it in the arcade. And also Outrigger. Outrigger is one of the most underrated games on the Dreamcast, and that game is great with a mouse.
I wonder if you can use the mouse with Crimson X, because that thing is hard as hell with the controller.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've been playing with a controller? Just get a gun.
Well, I don't have a gun.
Scott.
I'm trying to find out if you can use the mouse with it. I don't want to buy a gun.
Scott.
I don't have any shooters for the Dreamcast.
Scott.
Are you eating your Kindle right now?
What?
Nibbling on your Kindle nibbler?
That's what she said.
My lips were touching it.
Great. That's what she said.
Yeah, get confident in a gun.
You playing anything else? This is what Josh Newey's been playing podcast.
Between Two Worlds and or Link Between Worlds, excuse me, and Mario 3D Land, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You sound winded, buddy.
I'm sorry?
You sound winded, bud.
I was trying to get it in time. I didn't want it. I was hurrying, going fast, making it done, getting done with it, making it go now.
Brett, what have you been playing?
Well, we talked about this before the show. I've been playing a bit of Persona 4 Arena again. The funny thing was, a buddy of mine from Tumblr invited me into a lobby, and then it was like 15 minutes after Tom had signed out of PSN, so we missed each other again to play that. And then he's been at Otakon this weekend, so we haven't had a chance to really play. But
What a bitch.
yeah, that bastard. But yeah, I've been trying to get my groove back on that so I can get excited for Ultimax since that comes out next month.
On a sidebar, is Tom, how new to the site is Tom? Was he there when I left?
No.
No, he's been reading. He's been a reader and a listener for a long time, but he wasn't writing for us until a bit after you left.
He probably.
Okay, because I hear you've mentioned playing games with him several times already, so I thought maybe you guys were just friends and.
No. He's the mysterious Pocky X on our site.
That's Pocky X.
Yeah.
Secrets exposed.
Oh my God! Do you guys ever get Ninja Josh?
No.
That's a throwback name.
Yeah, Tom's probably been on the site for about 8 months now.
Good.
It
Cool.
blows my mind it's been that long.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to look back at when we recorded the first episode, and I know he was part of the site, but not part of the podcast then.
Yeah. I
So.
don't think he joined the podcast till.
But yeah. Anyway, who cares about Tom? Brett, what have you been playing?
Let's see. I'm trying to think what else I've been playing. I play a bit of NCAA football just because I was on a real football kick after.
Xenoblade football?
No, NCAA
Yeah.
football. No, Xenoblade football would be fucking dope.
Most downloaded after Project M.
Incredible.
No, that needs to happen.
That is the most downloaded game after Project M.
You just jam the football into the hole of the Monado and you throw it, the sword.
That's what she said.
In the hole of the Monado? That's what she said.
What's a Monado? Is that a cookie? That's Milano's.
That's like the sacred sword thing, and it's got like a hole in the middle of it.
Uh,
Look,
It's on the cover of
I
the
don't
game.
I don't get the innuendo she
oh,
said.
that one, the
It's
red
just
thing.
what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, the red thing. That's what she said? That one? Oh, that one?
Right.
That's... So you even played Xenoblade football. How's that?
It's pretty hardcore, man. I'm trying to think what else I played. Fuck, I haven't played a whole lot of stuff this week, to be honest.
All right, I'm going to go again then.
Hey!
No, my turn. I have been playing. Well, yeah. Last week we had the LC and Shadows guys on, and Brett mentioned that I was away recording. I was not actually away recording. I was out of town with my band, and being out of town, playing some handheld stuff. I was playing a lot of Persona 4 finally on my Vita, and
Nice.
it's Josh. Do you have a Vita?
Nope.
Oh, you had a 3DS. Maybe that's what I was thinking
Yes.
of. Oh.
Stevie has the Vita, right?
Yeah. Well, Tom and Brett and Stevie have all told me to play this game, along with other people in my real life, day-to-day life.
I think this is
Because
the
we're
only
all
video
fixed.
game podcast in the world where every member has a Vita.
Maybe. But,
Well, I don't have.
Probably.
Oh, wait.
well, you may as well have one. You should probably get that before you get a PS4.
But Type Zero's not on Vita.
You may as well have one.
See, I like it. I've been playing it more. I own only like 4 physical games for the thing still, but PS Plus
I'm not
is
knocking-
awesome, so.
I'm not knocking the quality of the Vita. I'm knocking the support of it and the where it's probably going right now.
Yeah, well, the support is all stuff that Brett plays. Like, he'd play the Hatsune Miku, he'd play the Japanese niche stuff that keeps getting physical releases for some reason. Like, I just learned of this game that's called, like, Super Curry Adventure or something, where you try to be the best curry chef, but it's really a dungeon crawler somehow.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But anyway, I've been playing Persona 4, got a little further in that. I just got to where Chie gets her Persona and stopped right after that boss battle.
Damn, you're still really early in.
Because it took me 5 hours to get just there.
Yeah, that's you could say you're really early in when you're like 20 hours into that game. That game
Well, yeah, the
Is it
tutorial
you're-
parts are very long.
You're like perpetually early in on that game.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll be early in until the plot twist, pretty much. But that's fun, and I've also been playing for review Crazy Taxi City Rush. And I don't want to get too much into that because then who would read my review?
What is that?
It's a free downloadable game. I think it's only on iOS. It's coming out on Android soon.
It actually
but
is on
it's-
Android now.
Oh, it is? Oh, that
Yeah,
was
I
quick.
checked Google Play the other night, and it was on there.
Well, it's never gonna be on Amazon store.
If you have something to play it on, Josh, I recommend it. You would dig it, being the Crazy Taxi fan that you are.
Is it like an all new Crazy Taxi game, or is it just
It's a
port?
brand new one. It's not a port.
Interesting.
Now, what
It's
I
it
haven't.
doesn't. I did download the first Crazy Taxi on my iPhone to see if it plays the same. The first Crazy Taxi, the port on iPhones, is that game, and you have controls where you can go anywhere, move any direction. Crazy Taxi City Rush is pretty much a endless runner, but you turn down streets, you can go off jumps, can do different things like that. So it is an
Are you
endless
still
runner.
collecting fares and stuff?
Yeah, people jump in and you drive around and stuff, but you don't like it's a little easier than the original Crazy Taxi in some aspects because you can't really like screw yourself up and be driving headlong into a building and stuff like that. But it's hard to. It's definitely an endless runner though.
It's Sonic Dash under a Crazy Taxi filter, basically.
Not exactly, because you do have a city where you can go any direction in, but you do have the path, and all you do is change lanes or turn down a street.
Mm.
So
Is there any Offspring music?
there's not. There's a bunch of pop punk bands that I didn't recognize.
I'm out.
But but you can upload your own playlist. You just label it Crazy Taxi. So of course, what I did first was put Offspring's All I Want on there and
Okay.
have that blasting. So.
I would just
That's the only way to play
just
Crazy
make my-
Taxi.
Well,
I think my own. Sorry. I would just make my own audio file and just do the yeah on a loop. And
Yeah.
just put-
Well,
So I
it
just
keeps not
listen to-
shuffling, so every time I start a new level, it only plays the Offspring song right now, so I have to figure out why that's happening.
That's
That's living the
it's like
dream, man.
microcosm of everybody's experience with Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And have I been playing anything else? Pretty much just that. I haven't been playing much Shenmue because we haven't done the journey in a little bit, but
What?
yeah, we'll have to get you back
That-
on for that, Josh. We've been doing the Shenmue journey where kind of like a book club sort of deal. We'll play up to a certain chapter in the versus strategy guide, versus books.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about it from right now. We're up to just getting into Warehouse 8.
Wow, that's a cool idea.
So yeah, we'll have to have you on sometime for that.
Well,
'Cause,
I
I mean,
can't.
even if you haven't like played it any time recently, I'm sure you could still talk about the exact location we would be in.
I know exactly where you are.
Yeah. But
Did you do the stealth bit yet?
no,
Metal Gear Rio. That's where we left off. We're the next
Yeah.
time we talk about, we'll be talking about.
Okay.
Stuff
I actually haven't.
That's
gotten
one of my
to that
favorite
ever.
parts of the game.
Like the part where we are is as far as I ever got in the game, up to getting into the real Warehouse 8. So
Oh, really?
yeah. Or no, I take that back. When you explore your basement for the first time, that's as far as I ever got initially.
Be very careful of getting into that loop, the job loop.
The job loop. Okay.
Oh, you haven't heard about that?
No.
If you there's some queue or something in the game. I don't remember specifically what it is, but if you miss the queue, you'll just go into a loop where you just go to work every day.
Oh, really?
And I was like, when I first played it happened to me the first time I played it, and I was playing for days going, wow, this is really cool. They're actually trying to simulate real life.
You get stuck into the real life similar mundane job game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is this is what working on a forklift is really like. This is what my
Yeah.
real life. Wow, no game has ever done something like this. It's so courageous.
New age.
But yeah, I would recommend looking it up on an FAQ, specifically what to be careful about. It's just I don't remember specifically what it's called, but it's just like a glitch that just put you in a loop that you can't escape. You have to restart the game.
I wonder if our strategy guide says anything about that, because we've been following the PDF of the versus books guide.
Mm.
It does have some fun. It like makes fun of the game and stuff. Like we got to the part where Nozomi confesses her feelings, but says everything except for "I love you" to Ryo, and it's hilarious in the guide because it says something like, "And get ready for a tense moment where Ryo and Nozomi almost nearly make eye contact." So it's fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's all I've been playing because like I said, I wasn't home over the weekend and just been busy doing other shidaddle. So I was cleaning out boxes trying to find crap, and I found my copy of Phantasy Star Zero. So I've never played that game. I might try to finally start playing that because I keep getting mad about PSO2.
Yeah, I always wanted to play that. I never really got around to it.
Yeah. But that's all I've been playing. So now normally we would go into the news, but since this is a 0.5, I thought we'd try a new section called Let's Chat About. And this week we're gonna chat about Resident Evil. So we're gonna
Now, what is that?
We're gonna shut up. Cue music. Let's talk about Resident Evil and all the dumb things Capcom does.
That's
I like this
totally the
radio
best
show.
Resident Evil song.
Okay, now you guys can look at the transition screen that I made for Resident Evil now, so you can get in the mood for this.
I like just quickly. I like your radio show transitions.
Thanks. We've tried. Let me catch you up to that real quick, Joss. Basically, we tried to do. I tried to edit things for the podcast to go on YouTube, and I would edit it, and then I would upload it, and then it would lag so much, and then just keep going. The sound in the video would be so far off that I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to hold my phone up to the headset and play some music while we're still recording, and that's going to be the transitions. And then I just do a screen share of different screenshots of whatever else. Like, that's because Google Hangouts and YouTube, YouTube just didn't let me edit things. It was dumb and not worth it.
It's kind of, it's nice. It adds a nice little, you're in the action kind of thing when you're listening to it. I feel like I'm listening to the podcast and participating.
Wow.
That's what we're going for. It's like, it's almost 4 dimensions, 4D. Going back in time.
What is it? Width, depth, height, and awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Professor Science. So this week, it's not really totally Sega related, but it kind of could be, I guess. I don't know. We're just going to BS about Resident Evil a little bit because Capcom recently announced that they are remaking the remake of the first Resident Evil. Now, to catch those up, Josh and I are incredible Resident Evil fans, and we have always wanted to have an excuse to talk about this series, so this is kind of partially why we're doing this. Brett said that Resident Evil 4 is better than Resident Evil 2, so we're going to yell...
Just slightly.
Yeah, bullshit. So we're going to yell at him for a little bit, probably. But first, we'll talk about... the remake. So the remake was, the first Resident Evil came out in 96, and then in 2002, they redid the first game for GameCube, and it wasn't just a graphic overhaul. They also added some parts to it, added some enemies, and made
Crimson Heads.
What's that? Yeah, Crimson Heads. Oh my gosh. Because I think, they added the Crimson Heads, which were red-eyed zombies that would chase you and actually go through doors and follow you around the house. They added
like this crazy shriek too when they noticed you.
I think so. I can't remember if it was that or if you just heard rapid footsteps, then you knew that you were in deep shit.
Yeah.
But they added that. They added a different, it was like a shed in the backyard or something where, what was that creature's name? It was like someone's daughter or something. Like, I want to say it was like... Oh,
yeah. She ended up being the final boss in the in Umbrella Chronicles.
Oh, really?
Which is really interesting. I believe she's the final boss for that. And
I never finished that one because that game was fucking hard to unlock things by yourself.
I love that game so much. I
Um,
really for that.
but yeah, they added that. They added like a whole new part to the mansion. I forget what else they added. I only played through the remake maybe once.
Hmm.
But it had graphics similar to like Resident Evil 4, so it was a good way to bring back the first game for those who hadn't played it before. And
It was an
now,
example of what companies need to do when they do these HD remakes.
yeah, not just smooth out shit and maybe add like a game plus mode or whatever. But so now Capcom said, "Hey, we're gonna bring back that game on the next, or not next gen, their current gen now. We're gonna bring it back on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC." And when I saw this, well, let's get everyone's reactions first. And first of all, has everyone played the remake?
Uh, I have not. I never owned a GameCube.
Okay, well that's not a big deal. Josh, you played the remake, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have it on. I have it on the Wii now, but I played it on the GameCube when it first came out.
Oh, is it any different on the Wii, really?
No. I mean, you can play it with like 3 different versions of control. But obviously, all I want to do is play it with the GameCube controller. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, right. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, it's PS4, Xbox One, PC, and actually PS3 and 360. They're gonna re-release it on all of those. And when I saw this, I flipped out. I couldn't believe that they were doing this. It struck me as odd, but it also struck me as, yep, Capcom, you've realized that you can't make a solid sequel to this game, so you're re-releasing a re-release.
yeah.
No, wait, is it going to be like a straight up just port of the GameCube, like this, just upscaled, or is it going to be like an actual remake?
From
All
the
I've
shots they've put out a whole handful of shots, and it just like looks like it's just more like they're reskinning it completely. Like it's not just upresing it to HD. It looks like it's a completely new visual overhaul, but it's still the same exact game.
Yeah, I think all they're doing is upgrading it so that it can be in 1080p, and they're adding
Oh,
500
really?
surround sound. Yeah,
So it's just upresing it. I thought the shots looked better than they did on the GameCube.
I honestly haven't looked at any of them because it makes me so mad. But
Mhm.
which
Yeah,
it really
it's
shouldn't. I don't know. I can understand. I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's like, how about just give the series a rest and like, collect yourself and realize that 5 and 6 was absolute shit. 5 was not bad. It was a good co-op game, but it wasn't a good Resident Evil game,
It
except
wasn't a good
uh,
single player experience.
oh no, not at all.
And that's why I fucking hate
Did
it.
either of you guys play the Lost in Nightmares add-on for Resident Evil 5?
I played the first chunk of it, but I kept holding it off because I wanted to play it with another person. I never got around to it.
Is that
Yeah.
the
But
is that the one
it's
that has Rebecca in it? Because
No.
I think I watched like an RE5 thing with her in it, but I can't remember. It's been a while.
it's the
No,
one where
Lost.
it's just Chris and Jill, right? They
Yeah,
just
they're
go back
back in the
to the
mansion and they have to find Wesker, and there are only 5 enemies in the game, I think it is, in that portion of it, which is like
Mhm.
2 hours, maybe 3 hours of gameplay. But
Mhm.
but what was really cool, I played it with my buddy and we kind of flew through it, so we tried it again on the hardest mode. But the enemy, like if he attacks you, he's this dude carrying around a giant anchor, and if he gets to you, you're done. You're dead. But what's really cool is you have to solve puzzles in it, and you can see it'll like switch to the other player's screen if need be for what part of the puzzle they're trying to do, so you can do the other half. It's got two-player puzzles. Um, and
This
there's
sounds
one,
like Zero.
yeah, kind of, but it sort of it borrows from that, but makes more sense. Like I remember in Zero, you had to control both characters on one controller, and that was just a mess. Um, but
I don't think so. I think. I mean, you cut back and forth between the two.
I'm
I've
talking about
only
like when
played
you
Zero
had to
once,
use
and it was a very long time ago.
you had to use the C stick if you wanted to control both of them on the screen at once.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was kind of blah. But yeah, when it would separate and like go to the other one. But anyway, there's parts where like there's a room where one person has to put a the crank in the wall and use that to prevent the ceiling from coming down, while the other person has to also put a crank in another wall, but you just have a window to see between the two of you. And we did that puzzle. And then also when one person is getting attacked or if they die, it'll switch to their screen real quick to show that they're in trouble. So I did the crank on the inside of the room, and then I left the room, and I'm walking down. This was on the harder difficulty, and we were like just running around doing shit real fast because you don't encounter the enemy until the third part of that game, like when you're in the sewers. So I open the door. Suddenly the door falls apart, bursts open, and the anchor dude hits me over the head with the fucking anchor and just kills me. And my buddy I was playing with online, he was also like, "Holy shit!" because it switched to his screen, and he thought that he just died. So, but it was a lot more tense and creepy, and I liked it because you knew you were gonna barely encounter the enemy, but that when you did, you had to get the hell out of there. So it did it a lot better than like anything in 5 did.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see them actually taking chances with trying to modify the gameplay a little bit there.
Yeah,
it's just a shame they didn't do it more.
Yeah, like I like that add-on as a whole more than 5 because it actually was creepy and the atmosphere was scary. 5 and then 6, they were both just too open. There wasn't any claustrophobic feeling ever.
Yeah, 6 was a clusterfuck in general and just felt so unsure of itself and so like it wanted to do all these new things, but it was not willing to pave any new ground while it was doing it. So it just borrowed from everything else and did every single thing poorly. And Resident Evil 5, I think, at least tried to refine what they did with 4 a little bit, leaned too much into action, but I still think was a decent game. And it had its moments, like the tension in that opening scene when you're walking through that African village and everyone's staring at you.
Yeah.
And there's that one part where they have a guy in a bag and they're just beating the shit out of him, and they look up and just watch you as you slowly walk past.
Yeah.
That's really good, a really good tense moment that I think is deserving of the Resident Evil name. But it's like the second half of that game is where it gets just stupid with zombies with guns and shit.
The only other time it feels kind of genuinely creepy or you're like nervous to progress is when you're in those hallways with the lickers.
Yep, that was the exact moment I was going to mention. Yep.
Yeah. But the remake of the first game, I just see, part of me thinks also, if I buy this, maybe they'll remake the second game. But I really don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion on this remake.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, you saw my reaction on Facebook when you posted about it.
Yeah.
It's my knee-jerk reaction is, why the fuck are you doing this?
Right. Especially because they said before that there were talks of them working on 7.
Yeah. There was talks of them working on 7, or well, they said after 6 happened, like, okay, you know what, we need to go back to the drawing board in Resident Evil 6, and they did say they were going to take a bit of a break. But there were rumors around this period where they were going to start working on 7. I was okay with them taking a break and actually taking a break.
Yeah.
Like it's and I go back and forth because the shots, as soon as I see the shots, like, okay, I do want to play this because it's Resident Evil and it's the remake, and that's probably the best conceived old formula Resident Evil ever made, because it's still, the camera still feels very static. It's not pre-rendered anymore, but it's still largely set in the old ways, but like kind of just to the limit of where they could take that before they need to overhaul everything.
Right.
But I don't like Resident Evil 2 remaking that would be so perfect. But of course it costs money. Resident Evil 1 is not going to cost them much at all just to up-res that. And it's going to sell. It's going to sell because they never released it since I guess the Wii version is the last time they released a version of it.
Yeah, they didn't do when 6 came out, they had those archive edition and the other one, right. I forget. Yeah. But it had
archives or something like that.
Yeah, the PS3 version had the director's cut through 3 because you could get those on the PSN store anyway, so they basically just gave them to you that way. And then
I think it had Code Veronica as well.
I think the 3.
Oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. The Xbox One had Code
version. Both of them had 4, or maybe only one of them had 4. I forget.
No, I think the 360 version had 4 and Code Veronica, and I thought I had one more. And then
you're right. Yeah, because they weren't on the XBLA.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, and also though the reason they needed to take a break was in 2012 they released 3 games: Revelations,
Mhm.
Operation Raccoon Shitty,
oh,
and
God.
Oh
Resident Evil
God.
6.
Yeah, and I'm the only person, or one of the only people I've talked to that has been pretty much overall pretty disappointed with Revelations 2. I don't think it was the update that Resident Evil needed. I really don't.
I played it, but I didn't beat it, and I really need to, but especially before playing it on a console, because I feel like it shouldn't have been put on consoles. That was just like an excuse of them like
Yep.
just trying to make more money, but
Just
Yep.
hitting
It's
a
another
quota
way
or
to
something.
not really trying to
cast
give
a
it
whole
to more
lot of game
people.
that didn't
But
need it.
just but
The
yeah.
Did I ever tell you my issue with Revelations? Why I don't think it's the update that everybody thinks it needs to be?
I only remember you and Stevie flipping out because the ending just didn't, or not the ending didn't make sense, but there was later on the company that was like a big threat was just like, hey, here's these guys, you should hate them.
Yeah, that's one of like I had a whole list. I feel so stupid. I wrote a whole like Word document on why I hated that game, so I didn't hate it, but why
Oh,
my
it's good to
issues
gather
with
your
it.
thoughts so you don't just rage out and not even talk about anything.
I want exactly. I would have just stuttered over myself like I want to do anyway. But I just went point by point, and I spent like the entire games of the week on Kids Table that week, just ranting about that game. But more than anything, the number one thing that drove me crazy about it is for me when Resident Evil works is when it's at this level of inescapable doom, and the fact that you have no choice but to go deeper into that doom to escape it. Um, and because every Resident Evil game, or almost all of them, there's this feeling of okay, to escape for instance, Resident Evil 2, to escape the streets, the fiery streets, I have to go to the gun shop. Okay,
No
now I
gun
have to escape
shop.
the gun shop to the police station. Oh, to escape the police station, I have to go deep into the sewers. To escape the sewers, I have to go deep into the lab. And it's the only way you can escape is to go deeper into the horror. Whereas with shit, the cinematic crap that Revelations tried, the poorly done cinematic crap, they just cut back and forth to different scenes, so it completely let you out of the tension every time
Right.
they cut to a different chapter.
Yeah, I agree. I know you, yeah, switching between Jill and Chris, I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, and cut between back in the past to the future as well, because there's two new characters that were from a whole different story that ended up intertwining with the other one, but
Yeah.
it just completely took you out of it. Oh man,
No,
that
that's
game.
fine. I know what you mean. And that's the thing too is since 4 um they took out that feeling of claustrophobia uh and how you see. I like the static camera angles because when you don't have
Yeah,
control
me
of
too.
that, you can't
Hmm.
see what's around the corner. You can't, like, you have to stand there and listen for a second to know if, well, like we were saying with the Crimson Heads, um you would enter a hallway and you would just stop for a second to make sure you didn't hear quick footsteps, and if you did, you're like, fuck this, turn around, running away.
Yeah, I
So
agree. And
yeah.
a lot of people like the tank controls. A lot of people will say, "Oh, that adds tension." Um, I personally think it does, but I can totally understand why other people don't.
Ditto.
Uh, just because it adds frustration as well.
But you had to have those controls for a game that didn't let you have control of the camera, because if you're walking down a hallway, like if you see directly behind yourself, you're walking down a hallway, you're hitting up on the control stick, but then when the camera angle changes, up might like throw you backwards or something. So it kind of had to do
Mhm.
that.
I think there's an argument to be made for them modifying the controls because we haven't seen those games in that pre-rendered way done in a different way. We can't really say either way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but like I think Resident Evil 4 is a beautiful mix. I think it's not the same formula, and I don't think it's necessarily better because it's not the same formula.
Mhm.
Um, I think there's certain things it does that are just different, and the way it does them different is awesome in its own way. Like the fact that you have a camera that you can control, but the camera is very limited where you can look.
Mhm.
So what's in your periphery is very, very limited for, especially by today's standards. You can when you're aiming, you can only look so far right or so far left, and so often it's very easy for things to sneak up on you still. But you're right, the claustrophobia is gone. the preset camera, not having that, it reduces a lot of the sense of claustrophobia. I'll definitely get with that. But then there's the enemy of the regenerators. I think that adds a lot of that. Oh God, I hear the breathing.
Yeah. Oh my
Right.
fucking god. And the Iron Maidens, the ones that have the spikes on them. Holy fuck.
They were in Code Veronica, I think.
No, that was Resident Evil 4.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Iron Maidens was just like a variation of the
They were
regenerators.
the ones that had the spikes that pop out and impale
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
And they were the most ridiculous fucking enemies in the game. Them, the
And they
chainsaw
intentionally
guys.
put those guys. They put those guys in narrow corridors quite a bit in that game.
Mhm.
So
Dude.
there's claustrophobic moments, but I'll definitely agree that changing the camera so dramatically reduces that feeling quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Brett, what were your first impressions when they announced this,
The remake?
the remake?
Truth be told, I had not heard about it until about 15 minutes ago because
Okay.
um
What do you think about that?
well, I was kind of excited until you mentioned it was just kind of an up-res thing, which that's one of my biggest pet peeves with remakes right now. It's one of the things I hope stuff like Type Zero, when they put that on PS4, I hope it doesn't fall into, because just up-resing something is just such a cheap ass way. It's just a cheap ass cash grab compared to something like, well, I mean, there's still stuff that does properly remake games, like Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on Wii U was a proper remake. That's what I was hoping more from Resident Evil 1 when you guys first mentioned it. But now it looks like it's just kind of a retexture and an up-res. I'm kind of...
They took out some of the long-winded stuff. Ah, no pun intended.
Oh.
Wind Waker, long-winded. When you have to travel the ocean, you're able to reduce that time. But so they might make minor changes with that. I don't know. But I'm sorry, I
That's the
interrupted
thing.
you.
So I feel like it's a little early to tell completely. Part of
Yeah,
me
we don't know
is
what else they're
excited.
gonna do, if anything.
Yeah, part of me like feels like I'm being too harsh just because I wanted a overhaul or complete redo of Resident Evil 2. I feel like I might be just kind of negatively biased towards anything Capcom does.
Sorry, there's a
But
dog in this room.
oh, the dog's everywhere. It's the Dogcast. Welcome to the Dogcast. But I mean, when you think about it, like nobody had an issue with them releasing Resident Evil 4, an HD version of Resident Evil 4 on the PS3. Nobody really complained about that.
True.
No.
This is a thing that, if anything, this is the one that's gotten the least releases. Like we've only seen 2 that I can think of.
Yeah,
That
what
and
did 2 really... Wait, did Nemesis get a re-release at all?
Only on Dreamcast, I think, was the last release.
Yeah.
Unless you count
yeah,
the PSN.
Dreamcast got 2 and 3 in Code Veronica, but that wasn't re-release. No, it didn't come to PS2. Yeah, I think that's the last one.
That's true.
So
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that it's going to be. That's the last one that's in the the original Resident Evil library that has not yet been released for digital platforms. So the fact that that's coming to that is still like, okay, well, good. They're wrapping that up.
Well, like I mentioned before, I didn't have a GameCube, so in that regard, it is cool to finally be able to play the remake properly.
Mhm.
But at the same token, it's like I kind of wish they would at least take advantage of the upgraded hardware that they're working with instead of just saying, "Hey, we upscaled it. Here you go, kids."
Right.
But
Yeah.
That's I feel like they're see the Resident Evil 4, the digital, or were you talking about the digital release or how they released it on PS2, Josh?
No, I was talking about the digital release.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is gonna be probably a physical release, I would imagine.
actually, what I've been reading is it's going to be a digital release. Resident Evil 1 is.
It seems like it would be a digital release. If Resident Evil 4 is a digital release, because Resident Evil 4, that was an HD version. That was an up-res version.
Right.
And then they released it on PC recently too. And I remember when that came out, everyone was like, "Oh, great! Now I can play it on my PC." And like, this game has come out in like 16 different consoles.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I personally own Resident Evil 4 on 4 different consoles, so I feel like I'm a bit of a hypocrite if I give this one too much shit when it's one of their least.
Is that GameCube, Wii, 360, and something else?
GameCube, Wii, PS3, and what was the fourth one?
PC?
GameCube, Wii,
Steam?
PS3. No, PS2.
Oh, right, derp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we completely forgot. That was the other thing. Even though that's the version I had.
Yeah, which that was cool because they added Ada's story to it, so it was
That
And it had that
it was
bonus
more than just
DVD,
a
right?
generic port. What's that?
It had that bonus DVD with the Wesker files on it.
Oh, did it? Or are you talking about
That
Code
might be
Veronica?
Code Veronica X, actually. That might be Code
yeah, that was
Veronica
Code
X.
Veronica.
Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that had.
And it had the Devil May Cry demo as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason I got Code Veronica X initially, is I wanted to play Devil May Cry, and then I ended up playing.
Oh, shut the fuck up, you stupid idiot!
I liked Resident Evil, but I was like, oh, I want to play Devil May Cry, get me this, and then I ended up playing Code Veronica a lot more than the Devil May Cry demo.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
even you go ahead.
I feel like this is gonna turn into Revelations. Like they released Revelations on 360 and PS3 just to get it out to more people. I feel like they're releasing this just to get it out to more people, not. But I could be wrong. Maybe they're testing the waters. But also, it depends. Like if they keep the tank controls and don't let you change the camera angles, then maybe they're testing the waters first for remaking Resident Evil 2, or seeing if people actually want them to go back to the old style.
There's a difference between this and Revelations, though, because Revelations on the 3DS had just come out when they released the one for consoles.
Yeah, right.
This is a game that has developed a huge fan base over the years and is now well considered to be one of the best survival horror games ever made and one of the best GameCube games ever made, and for some reason has just never been or been very, very rarely drawn upon again. So they might just be drawing on this well and then leaving it to dry. I find it highly doubtful that they would ever go back to tank controls or the frozen camera, because as much as you and I appreciate what they do right with those elements, Scott, you have to admit that we are in the minority on that.
Yeah, we are.
Belief.
Did they have tank controls for the remake? I don't remember.
Yeah, it still has tank controls. The
Okay.
remake, yeah.
Now I had read
introduced. Oh, actually, that might be Resident Evil 3. Which was it, 3 or the remake that introduced the 180-degree turn?
It was 3 because that was out before the remake. Longer than the remake.
Now,
yeah.
from what I've been reading about this remake, is it says you can choose to play the game either its old 4x3 or bump it up to 16.9. Other changes include various control options, though the original scheme will still be present, and a scrolling camera that appears to move away from the original's fixed angles in preference of a much more dynamic approach. So that's worrying a little.
I mean, that still sounds like it's still going to be tied, because it's tied to the old game's mechanics. There's only so far that they can mess with the camera without it being a clusterfuck. But I mean, you said what'd you say? It's a scrolling camera?
Yeah, they said from what I've read, it's a scrolling camera.
Are you on Ecumenical?
I'm on IGN.
Never mind. Ah, fuck. I'm not gonna try to load IGN because it'll give me like 13,000 ads. That'll just crash everything for me probably.
Burn.
Yep. So I don't know. I don't know. Man, if it's digital, I'm definitely not gonna buy it. Is my opinion right now, because I would rather have a physical copy, because every other copy I own of the first one besides the PSN thing, like I own the thing on 5 different systems. I would rather have a physical version.
I have a bad habit where if I see a Resident Evil game and it's on a console that I don't have yet, I want to get it, even though I haven't. My biggest goal is such a stupid goal, and it's a waste of my money and it's a waste of my time, and I'm ashamed of it. But my biggest thing is I want to get all the versions of Resident Evil that exist.
The first one or the second one?
I'm sorry, Resident Evil 2.
Do you have the
Including the
Game.com version?
Yeah, the Game.com version. I want to get the Resident Evil 2 for N64 because that's so crazy that there's a Resident Evil on a cartridge.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
But I have, like I said, I have four different copies of Resident Evil 4. I have 3 Resident Evil 3 copies. I have, as of now, GameCube, PS3, PlayStation 1. I have 3 copies of Resident Evil 2. I'll probably do it. But the thing is, this is one that I would love just to have that on my hard drive, just so I could pop it in anytime I want, instead of having to plug in my Wii. Though right now it's plugged in because of Smash Brothers. And the other thing,
you're a big old walking contradiction, Josh.
I know I'm contradicting myself in terms of how I feel about this. Like I said, my knee-jerk reaction is, don't do this. What the hell's wrong with you? Just give people what they want. But then I back off and think, okay, this is a well that has not been drawn from much, and Capcom does not have much money right now, and nobody trusts them with their own franchises.
Yeah.
So why not give a game that's already been proven to be good, giving that to us again and just up-resing it and making look prettier? So, I'll totally admit I contradict myself on this a lot, because I know part of me is just a fanboy reacting to not getting what I want, and I'm trying to not be that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now,
right.
you mentioned us not being able to trust Capcom with their own franchises, which is totally legit. As a Street Fighter fan, I can definitely vouch for that, and as a Resident Evil fan as well after Resident Evil 6. Now,
dude, aren't you getting Ultra? It's gonna be the best version.
Fuck Ultra. They didn't put care in it. But you mentioned that we don't.
Tell them to call back later.
That's Capcom calling to say you better fucking buy Ultra.
Ah! Y'all answer that? I'm trying to.
That's President Capcom calling. King Capcom.
He can get fucked.
King
I'm not
Capcom.
buying Ultra until they put Karen or Mika in it. Anyway.
Mega Man's calling. He's got nothing to do.
Mega Man. He's gonna answer the phone and all he hears is Mega Man. I don't know what you want. Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Does Mega Man have a voice of Mickey?
Dr. Wily.
Let's go kill Dr. Wily.
But yeah,
right.
We mentioned, we don't trust Capcom very well. We've also mentioned a remake of Resident Evil 2, which, I've mentioned, it's a toss-up for me between 4 and 2 is my favorite. I know it's y'all's it's one of y'all's favorites, if not y'all's favorite. Now,
2 is the best.
Now, given that we don't
trust my favorite.
Good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Given that we don't trust Capcom, do we really want them to remake this? Because I think...
Oh, you mean remake 2? Well, yeah, they wouldn't have any of the original members, of course. That's why Evil Within looks so promising, because it's Shinji Mikami. Shinji Mikami wouldn't have anything to do with the remake of Resident Evil 2. That's a good point.
Yeah. It's just we look at stuff like I'm trying to remember what that one Wii game that kind of revisited was.
Revisited what?
There was a Wii game that
Darkside Chronicles?
Yeah, Darkside Chronicles.
Oh, right. I didn't play that one.
Disappointment.
And it's like, do we really trust Capcom today with Resident Evil 2? Do we it's the same...
I don't, but here's the thing. I don't trust them with that game, but by the same token, they're the only ones that can make it.
True.
So, I totally understand what you're saying. That's why I say, you know what, if they're going to put this other one out, at least they're not fucking too much with a good thing. But by the same token, it's not like it's going to change. It's not like, maybe someday someone will buy Capcom, or someday they'll dissolve and they'll have to sell their franchises to better companies. But as of now, the only way to get that is through Capcom.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, and to me, it's like, I don't like Final Fantasy VII, but I'll use this as an excuse. The people who clamor for a remake of Final Fantasy VII, but they complain about how Final Fantasy 13 and all them play. It's like, how do you think they would actually do that game? Because they can't just reuse the PS1 assets now. They would want to upgrade to something that looks better on a current system.
It would be as great as Shenmue 3. Duh.
The
God,
thing
let's
I
not compare Shenmue to Final Fantasy VII. I don't want to feel sick.
the thing I keep coming. Hey, you better watch your
Hey,
fucking
no,
mouth.
Final Fantasy VII sucks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like them both. I think they're both great, but I think Shenmue deserves a place near it more than most people think. I have a whole theory of why Shenmue is great, but I won't get into that here. What am I talking about? Oh,
Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil is good. I forgot. God damn it. Resident Evil.
I got
saying
talking about Final Fantasy and I just ruined the whole show. As
Resident
usual.
Josh, you
What?
should be grateful
Okay.
for what your grandma does.
You should be grateful.
For what my grandma does?
When you leave the house in Shenmue,
I
Ryu
should be
always says,
grateful.
"I should be grateful."
Oh.
When he gets his allowance, that's it. That's
yeah,
an
it's his
ongoing
allowance. Come on.
joke.
I
Maybe
think
I
you're
should
saying
buy
like
another.
Podcast now.
my grandmother could be murdering people. I should stop whining.
Uh,
Resident Evil. Fuck, I had something very specific to say. That was just the best thing I was ever gonna say. Forget it. Fuck it.
I don't know what they. It'd be interesting to see how if they remade Resident Evil 2 because they had the zapping system. So I wonder if they would like force you to start as one of the two characters and just like make the game longer. You know what I mean? Because you could beat it in 3 hours. So maybe they just try to turn it into an 8-hour game by forcing you to play as Leon first and then pick up as Claire or something. Or if they'd like try to make you go back and forth like Revelations did. You know?
That's what I was gonna say. They would probably take the Revelations route because they think that makes it more cinematic and keeps it fresh, which is the dumbest freaking move they can make.
Yeah, because they think, oh, kids aren't going to play this game twice. You know?
Yeah, I just remember what I was gonna say.
Cool.
One of the things that you mentioned it earlier. You brought up the Evil Within, the fact that Shinji Mikami's working on it. I've gotten to a point, largely because I've seen how the whole fandom thing works and how I play my own card in it, and I'm getting sick of it. I've gotten to a point where I'm realizing, you know what? I've got to stop obsessing over a franchise because I like a franchise. It's not necessarily the franchise that I liked; it's the experience that I had while I was playing it. So I got to search for that experience in different games. Evil Within is going to be that. What's it called? Shadows of the Damned gave me that kind of experience, but added in a nice little level of humor to it as well. But it still felt like a Resident Evil game. And those kind of games are existing. It's just I've just got to be happy with going on to a new place with a company that I can trust, with a developer I can trust, with a franchise that's maybe similar to Resident Evil, or just give me a feeling that I got with Resident Evil. Because people, the world is filled with people that grew up loving Resident Evil now.
Right.
So people are making those games.
That's probably why I felt the way I did about Last of Us now that you mentioned that, because it brought back feelings of playing the first couple of Resident Evils at some points.
Really?
Yeah. You still haven't played that game, have you?
No, that's exciting.
Man.
I played for like an hour or two, but at that point, my roommate was making fun of me so much that I was ashamed and I stopped because I was so bad.
What were you playing, a demo or just the first hour of the game?
I rented it from GameFly.
Oh, man, you got to give it a try. You got to give it the good old college try.
I don't have a GameFly membership anymore, but I will one of these days I'll get a copy. It's finally going down in price, so maybe I'll buy it one day.
Yeah, with the 4 version out. But yeah, that makes sense, and I understand where you're coming from. That's why I don't get mad at like all these movies about comics, like, oh, it's not canon. That is not canon. Like I've given up on thinking about that stuff.
You went into David Carvey's George Bush there. That is not canon.
I was.
I gotta educate these fools on my Marvel canons.
I was trying to be the super nerd that like Conan O'Brien kind of does. That is not canon. That kind of thing. But yeah,
you merged it with George Bush.
I have to.
It's awesome.
Anyway.
proven. It is not canon.
That is not canon. Let's
I can't do a George Bush,
No, I can't.
like George W. Bush impression, but I wouldn't. It's not canon. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's taxes are high, but so am I. All right, let's get to
God,
America.
this is horrible. Let's just
Yeah,
continue.
let's Resident Evil.
President Evil.
President
I was gonna
Evil.
say that.
I'd like to buy that Residential Evil. You guys got that game? You
Goddamn
guys
good.
got Jason and the Argonauts or something about the Argonauts? Got that game? Anyway, what the hell was I gonna say now? I don't even.
Before I remembered the thing I was going to say, you were talking about Revelations and Resident Evil, what they're going to do with the two storylines.
Yeah, they'd probably merge them like that, and I feel like for some reason, even is there a choir singing in the background? Anybody else hear that? That was weird.
Ghosts.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say, like tying it into the first game, I wonder if they would have you play as, if they would try to do something dumb and like merge, because you either play as Jill or you either play as Chris. There's no zapping system. There's no crossing over, like they had in 2. So I wonder if they would. I don't know. I wonder if they would do any more than just port it over and beef up the graphics.
No, I would. If they were to, are you saying if they were to do Resident Evil 2?
No, the first one. I'm trying to tie it into what they. Oh, that's what's happening. I have a fucking video playing in the background on one of my windows. You dumb thing.
I thought maybe this is some creepy pasta shit going down, and you were having some ghost haunting.
I thought that maybe Brett was watching NASCAR and they had some choir halftime bullshit going on.
Everybody knows those NASCAR love their Jesus.
Well, but it's
well, dude did die last night, so I mean,
Brett. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well, way to bring the room down, Brett. God.
Way to go.
I shouldn't laugh.
I yelled at the movie screen when Danica Patrick came on again, before I saw a movie over the weekend. Shut up.
She's wrecked already, so that's good.
Yeah, what, did she die too?
No. But
Danica Patrick died?
We wish.
Josh sits up like a little boy on Christmas.
Yahoo!
Yeah, but I mean, I've got Resident Evil on PS1. I've got the Director's Cut on PS1. I've got the Sega Saturn version. I've got the DS version. I
want the Sega Saturn version real bad.
What other? I feel like there's another version I have. How many was?
Do you have the Director's Cut? Did you say that already?
Yeah, I said the Director's Cut. So that's 1, 2, DS.
Do you have the original cover? I love that original cover. It's the desktop to my phone.
Chris with the shotgun.
Like he doesn't look like Chris. He looks like he has his eyes sliced off.
Yeah, he doesn't look like the way he should at all.
And all the monsters around him, like the figures around him, look like they're haunting him. Like it doesn't look like they're lurking around him. It looks like he's being driven mad, which is so cool because PlayStation 1 horror games did not really toy with sanity stuff. And I love that they were hinting at that with the game cover.
Yeah, it's funny. So I guess we could kind of say in summation, we want to be excited for this, or what?
I'll take it. I'll go for it, but I'm not necessarily like, yes, finally.
I would sooner buy this than go to the next movie.
Yeah,
oh, God.
your
I don't even
little
consider that.
had a little too much Mila Jovovich in it, and I was very offended.
What?
Mila?
What?
Your header in a
Mila Jovovich.
Fuck.
It's Mila time.
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
It had too much, and I was personally offended.
Those movies, I have not considered them to be part of the Resident Evil canon ever, so I don't really.
I saw the third one in theaters, and I regretted it instantly.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the first one in theaters.
God.
Oh, GameCube was the other version. I was finally looking at Wikipedia. Duh. If you count that.
What we've been talking about this entire time.
Oh, you're lumping that in with which ones you own, the remake?
Well, I guess I was trying to think of the 5 versions I own, and GameCube was the one, but that's a remake, so I don't know if you'd actually count.
Yeah, they're so drastically different. Right. Like I would consider the DS one to be
That's a
so
good.
that even though it's got that first person. What's that?
It's a good port, but you can turn that. You can either play the game with or without that first person knifing mode.
Yeah, it's that's a port. It's a well done port.
Yeah.
And I actually like that stupid PDF knifing shit. It's stupid as hell, but I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't call the remake is not. It's a different game.
Right. Yeah, well, man. Oh man, digital only. I don't know.
Now, is there any chance that they might release Zero on PSN
I don't care
and
about
stuff
that
now?
game.
Highly doubt it. I highly doubt it.
That one
maybe
not get that
someday
good
they'll
of reception.
just shit it out and they won't like announce it. They won't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
But
It
don't
would
think-
be.
I'm
it would-
looking at the scores that it got, and Resident Evil 0 got an average of an 83%,
Mhm.
and like the Wii version it was in the 60s for its scores.
Damn.
So I
Well,
don't think
that's
we'll see
largely
Zero
because
again.
that's largely because that was way after that formula had gotten so tired and they moved on. I played that. It's funny, even when that first came out, that was like the first time where I was like, oh my god, am I getting sick of Resident Evil?
Yeah,
And
like I
realized-
struggled to get through that game. I don't know if I ever beat that one actually.
I didn't. I think I only got to the Scorpion boss, which is the first major boss.
I remember that one. And
I did not like it. I really hated it.
Yeah, I
and
don't know
it's
if I did.
not because like the gameplay was necessarily bad. It was just they had done that exact thing so much, and then the puzzle stuff added to it just made it a tad more cumbersome to a point where I was like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. It was
So-
weird.
I-
It came out before wait,
That
no,
came
was
out-
Gaiden? No, that was a different one. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud.
I would
Gaiden
like
was
to,
the Game Boy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to play Zero just because I'm a big fan of Rebecca. I like her design and everything.
Why do you like all the characters no one gives a shit about, Brett?
Because that's my curse.
Josh,
okay.
Josh, in case you didn't know, Brett loves Silver the Hedgehog.
You have to-
Exactly. That's the correct response. Just a long, heavy sigh.
I don't. You have no idea day to day how much I have to do with people saying Silver the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog should be in Smash Brothers. I fucking hate those people. Yeah.
Hey, Silver would be cool with the psychic shit.
Shut up, Brett.
Just shut up. Just shut up and say what you're gonna say.
I don't think Shadow would be very different from Sonic. So.
No, that's not what you were. Whoa.
No.
That's talking about.
Talk about Resident Evil, please.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Well, could you imagine what would happen if Silver the
Rebecca
Hedgehog
Evil.
was in Resident
Rebecca
Evil?
the Evil.
You're interested in playing because you like Rebecca. I don't think Rebecca's too bad. I think she's fine. I think the way they handle her in 6 is garbage. Actually, no, I take that back.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was in 6. Wow.
I didn't even know she was in 6.
I did
Her
not.
dynamic with Wesker's son in 6 was probably one of the only interesting things in that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I thought that
like
was
how much Ashley had grown up. Why? Not
Brrr.
Ashley. I mean Shirley. Sorry, Shirley.
Sherry.
Shirley. Shirley. Shirley Birkin.
Oh, that's right. That was Sherry Birkin. What am I saying? That wasn't Rebecca. I take that back. I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Sherry you were talking about?
That was Sherry. Yeah, their dynamic I thought was really interesting.
You had my hopes up, man.
Don't play 6.
I'm not going to. Don't worry.
If you wanna get an idea of whether or not you should play 6, go to my YouTube channel and check out Resident Evil 6 gameplay.
You should read my review on Press Pause Radio.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
So were you saying anything important, Brett?
I was just saying I kind of wanted to play Zero just because she was in it. Like, even though it's supposed to be kind of bleh, I just kind of wanted to play something with her as the main.
It's not that bad. I think if you can get a copy for super cheap, it's like if you haven't played the Resident Evil formula in a long time, you might be able to tolerate the stupid puzzles.
Right.
Is
Is that
just,
game 2-player?
Yes. No. I don't
Schizophrenia
think
is
it-
kicking in again.
I'm not sure because whenever you're playing together, it's just one running and one following, and then when you switch to puzzles,
It sounded like you
switch
said
back and forth.
one running and one falling.
Wait, is it? So wait, is
One
it
constantly helping the other up.
Is
It's
it kinda
basically
like-
Resident Evil 4 all over again.
Oh, okay. So like, Now that's a thing that's popped up since Zero, I guess, but definitely since 4 is having a partner character and co-op and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that? Because I don't think it was very awful in 4. I think it was handled.
Not in 4.
In 4, it was like having
Talking
a partner.
about the
having a
escort
partner.
parts.
Oh, you're talking about escorts. I got
Yeah,
you.
there was
Okay.
no
Yeah,
no partner in Resident Evil 4. It was just Ashley running around being a stereotypical damsel in distress.
Wait, follow me. Wait, follow me.
You're talking about a helper. You're talking about a helper character like Sheva, Chris, Chris.
I love her.
Sheva,
Her.
Chris.
My favorite thing about those is every time you do it, it gets more and more desperate, and sometimes you'll be standing right next to each other. You just pound on that. She'll just start screaming bloody murder in his name.
Here's the thing, though, is that at least Ashley's AI in 4 was kind of reasonable.
Nope.
I thought it was.
Why did they give her unlockable, like
the suit of armor?
Camelot knight armor, yeah.
That was the best
So
thing. I did love that.
So that you didn't have to worry about her. She was a fucking dipshit.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine anything worse than how AI Sheva was in 5. That was a fucking train wreck.
No, it was the worst in 6 because I actually died because the AI character wouldn't kill things. So many times.
I didn't play 6 single player. I only played it with another person, so I never got to experience that. But the thing I think the reason you didn't find Ashley to be too intrusive, Brett, is the fact that they did a very good job of giving you places where you could hide her. So
like dumpsters and shit.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rare that she's out with you while you're fighting things. And when she usually would be standing right in front of me, and she'd duck, but it'd be hilarious that she'd be looking right in my eyes and then just get down for no reason because I pick up my gun.
Yeah. Because you can't hurt her anyway.
I think the worst thing about about having Ashley around was the that one part in the castle, like near the entrance of the castle, where it's kind of like that water puzzle. I'm trying to remember like exactly how it was.
Water puzzle. Yeah,
it's been a while. It's been a while since I've played
that game very recently, so I should be able to get this. What is it?
It's like right after you go inside the castle, and like after you fight the first. Oh God, I forget what the guy you fight.
That thing.
Yeah.
And he runs at you.
Yeah, the guy in the prison.
You shoot him in the back.
Yeah. Or like if you have a rocket launcher, you can just kill him instantly. And then after you go in there, you have that big large room where you have to send her to like adjust shit. It's been such a long time.
I don't remember a water puzzle.
Oh, there's slow turning crank.
Yeah, the slow turning crank. I don't know why I'm thinking there was water in that room.
Probably because typically any water
90%
level
of the time,
piss you off.
If you say a slow turning crank, you've got what the puzzle was in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. But there's like a whole bunch of like the cultists coming at you and everything, and you have to fight them off from attacking her when she's like turning shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like most of that game.
Fucking hell!
Pretty much, yeah.
The audience hall. Is that? I think that's it. And then there's the audience hall, and then the hall of water after you fight the Garrador.
Clues me in less.
I googled it.
That doesn't mean anything.
What did you? How did you Google it when you knew so little about it? You just said, "Yeah, there's water puzzle. There's the
lyrics to a techno song or something."
I remember what part of the game it was in. It was chapter 3, and it was like right after you go inside the castle.
I remember that. I don't know.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna Google this and see. Resident Evil Hall.
Everybody's Googling. Scott's gonna sing about Googling because he doesn't have anything to say about Googling stuff because he's sitting in a room in front of a computer.
I'm a computer.
I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading.
Because it's the church. That's not the castle.
Church.
Yeah, dumbass.
You stupid motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Go draw a car, you dumbass.
Well, I thought church was in like the graveyard where you first met Sadler.
No.
What?
Huh?
You don't meet Sadler in a graveyard. You meet him inside the church.
Yeah, inside the
He's
church that's in the graveyard.
What
That's
are
what,
you?
that's what I
Just-
think of when I think of church in the game.
That's the church. That is the church. That's not what you're talking about then.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inside the castle in chapter 3.
Well, there's a church and there's a castle and there's a probably
Military.
something else with stone walls in it. I mean,
I forget why we're even discussing this.
I don't know. Rebecca, Ashley, assist people, characters running around like idiots.
Yeah, all the pictures I'm seeing are pictures of the church.
Mhm.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, finally.
Okay, that's a ways into the church. That's not just the beginning. You mean when you're in the middle of all that water,
Yeah.
and there's those platforms on either side, on the left and right, and you have to help her up and go turn the crank as you
Yeah,
shoot the.
yeah. And then you have to fight off cultists the entire time.
Man.
Yeah. That part is one of the worst parts of that game.
That's like the one part I was really frustrated with Ashley.
Yeah.
Probably because it sucked.
It did suck. That's one of the reasons I don't really want to
Like
go
a
back and play
kidney
it.
stone.
Yeah. Huh?
I
That
feel like I
and,
passed kidney stone. They figuring that out.
Yeah, that was.
that and like the minecart part are the reasons I don't really want to go back to
I
Resident Evil.
remember that.
Now that
Yeah.
part was.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they won't try. I could see them. Speaking of Zero, though, I could see them like throwing in Zero as an add-on if you like reserve it or something stupid. I don't know how you'd reserve DLC or a digital
would
game, but you know
require
what I mean.
Well, like PSN does have that thing where you can pre-order stuff now.
Right. True.
That would require them to do a whole release a whole other game onto PSN though. That they're not going to do that. They release it as its own thing before they made it part of a bundle.
I guess it depends on how much they would charge for it too. Since I already own it, how much would I be willing to pay for a game I already own? He said owning 4 copies of the original. Never mind.
I think-
Everything we say, Josh, just doesn't even matter.
I would say about $15 is what they would go for.
they're going to charge
not
20.
go than that because it's
20.
It's a 12-year-old game.
They're going to charge 20. I would put money on it that they're going to charge $20.
Actually, it's released on O2 and GameCube, and then when did they put it on Wii?
2008, 9, something like that.
Let's see. I'm trying to find out. 2009. Yep.
The thing is, when they released Resident Evil 4, they charged $20 for it.
Oh, that's
and
right. I
that
remember
game-
that because I definitely was
Yeah.
not going to pay that. Yeah.
That game has been on everything, and they were still charging $20. I mean, when they
It's on
updated for the
cell
Wii,
phones.
what's that?
It's on cell phones.
Wait, it is?
Yeah. Oh God, I have the cell phone game. It's so bad.
It's bad. It's like almost a rail shooter that you can't control.
Oh, so that one.
I have 5 versions of that game then, if you consider the cell phone version.
Nice.
The game's so bad. Yeah, they're going to charge as much as they can, especially since they have not milked this one to the nth degree yet. People will pay what they ask them to pay, so they're going to charge $20 at the very least. I don't think they go above that, but you never know. Maybe, but I doubt it. I think $20 I think is where they'll go.
Right. I don't know if there's much more we can say about this now. We've kicked it into the ground that Josh is going to buy it. Brett needs to play the other one first. And I am back and forth. I have a lot of varying...
You'll buy it.
I will not get it at first. I can tell you that much. I will hear about it, and actually, if you get it right away, I'll probably ask for your opinion on it, Josh, because I would trust your opinion on whether or not to get it. But I don't know. I just really don't want to support Capcom. That's the big thing, because they've just destroyed so many things I love.
Yeah, but they also created the things you love, and they're going to keep being the ones to create the things that create new versions of the things you love. I totally understand not wanting to fund them in their bad period, like when they're doing shit like making that what was it, the Resident Evil's
Operations Raccoon
Mercenaries,
City.
where it only had the save file on the cartridge that you could not erase.
Oh, Mercenaries. Yeah.
So I can understand not wanting to fund practices like that, but by the same token, I want those franchises to continue. I want them to exist. I am funding the franchises and the people working on them, not the people who created that, or not the people who are publishing them.
Right.
The developers and the people who want to continue to put this stuff out there. I want to prove that, hey, you know what? I still want Resident Evil games. Now if they keep fucking up and they keep making bad stuff, eventually, yeah, I'm gonna stop caring about it and I'm gonna go play Evil Within instead.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with giving it a chance if it looks like it's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's rare these days. Dogma, apparently Dragon's Dogma is still good.
I haven't even tried that.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's my decision on it. Is I'm gonna wait to hear Josh's decision.
Hooray!
It's gonna be a strange human centipede of decision making.
What? No, it's not. I'm not eating anybody's butthole.
What? I thought that was our agreement.
I want nothing to do with that.
That's why I said hooray. I thought I was gonna get to poop in your mouth.
No, that's great.
I ate the cuttlefish.
Oh God.
I'm totally thrown off now.
I feel so bad about making that reference now.
I would like to. Oh man. Brett, what are your final thoughts? Oh, hey, yeah, eBay says you'd probably get Resident Evil 0 for around $10 if you wanted to, Brett.
Okay, I might think
do
about
it up.
that.
That's the GameCube version. Don't pay. The Wii version's going for like 15 or 20, so just get the GameCube version. You can play it on a Wii.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, I'll look into jumping on that maybe. I'll have to watch some gameplay stuff later on tonight. But yeah, I just kind of want to.
You'll do the Brett thing, and you'll just get 0 and not play anything else. And you're like, what? 0's great. Everybody's so wrong.
You vomit everywhere after you're done voicing your opinion, I guess.
I'll play it for 5 minutes and be like, this is shit. I'm gonna go play Blaze Blue.
Yeah, same way you played Miami or Hotline Miami.
I played that for a good 3 hours, and
bullshit. 3 hours.
I got stuck on one level for 3 hours. I was just like, fuck it.
I'm actually on Brett's side with that one just because I love how much it pisses Stevie off and I never play it. I own it in 2 different places and I just never play it.
Well, let's we're we're about done talking about Resident Evil, so let's get into our plugs real quick. That's what we do for the plugs, Josh. And sometimes our news section is you ought to know the news, or you ought to know about these plugs.
You want to know our Twitters.
You can probably guess whose idea that was.
Stevie?
Entirely.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, Josh, you're our guest. Do you do anything on the internet you want to plug, or anything you do in real life that someone nearby you might want to see or do?
Well, I first would like to plug my upcoming film, The Human Resident iPad.
Man. South Park jokes.
Yeah, I combined 3 things there. I'm proud of myself.
And they weren't just 3 people. Womp womp.
Yeah, combined 3 colors of shit in one person's digestive system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything on the internet because I haven't written anything in like an eon, and maybe someday. I don't know.
We can still go read your review on Resident Evil 6, I guess.
Yeah, go read my review on Resident Evil 6. It's really eloquent and really smart and really funny. It's not funny and it's not smart and it's not good. Read it though. It's on presspauseradio.com. .org.com.
Google it.
It's .hat.
.co.jp.
.edu.
Stevie will tell you next time, and then go read it. Also, hey, you know what? Screw it. If you're in the Northeast, if you're in Connecticut, you want a good time, go this coming September. I believe it's September 17th is the opening night or something like that. I'm going to be in their production of Reefer Madness the musical. So hey, if you're in town, go see that. I'm
What part
playing
do you play? Yeah.
the lecturer, the guy who's warning everybody of the dangers of marijuana.
Pretty much the star of the show.
Kind of, yeah. It's him and I'd say Jimmy is really the star of the show, but I'm sort of the one who's narrating everything and coming in as a bunch of random characters, including a pagan sex goat.
I don't remember that part of the movie, but
What?
Yeah, there's one scene where Jimmy takes his first hit and he falls into a giant writhing orgy, and a sex goat comes in. He's like a satyr. He comes in
sex goat,
and does nasty with him.
God.
And then that's the first hit he takes, so he keeps doing it after that happens still.
Yeah, and he goes crazy, and eventually he ends up murdering somebody. One person gets so high and he starts committing cannibalism, starts eating people.
Okay. These are all the
woman
effects
rips
of
out some
marijuana,
heart.
kids.
It's a great show.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Brett, what
So-
should we know that you're... Oh, are you done, Josh? I'm sure. Sorry. Sure? I'm Sherry. I'm Sherry Birkin.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, I don't do anything on there, but I'm at Ectopolio.
Yeah, you just favorited a tweet from Tom from like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I got like 6 followers in the last month because I haven't said anything, which is a really bad sign.
Uh-huh. They're like, keep it up, Josh.
Follow me, I guess.
Am I still? I can't remember.
What's your
okay.
Twitter name, Josh?
My name? Oh, it's Ectocoolio.
How do you spell that?
ECTOCOOLIO.
Okay. I'm not going to do that joke. Brett, what do you have to plug?
I am Suzaku Rainmaker on Twitter, Tumblr, Steam, Spotify, MySpace.
Spotify, yeah. Sega Addicts. Everybody jump on Spotify.
What?
What's Modify?
No,
Spotify.
Spotify's like a
You're on
last step.
Spotify?
Like,
Yeah.
why are you plugging that?
I don't know. I'm just
You want
being.
to see what I'm listening to?
I'm on Last FM, LiveJournal, Zonga.
You do not have a live journal. Zonga.
MySpace.
I
You own
already
MySpace.
mentioned my MySpace.
Yeah. don't
Totally
believe
updated since
See that.
2007. God. But yeah,
Dan.
and if you want to play shit with me on PlayStation, I am Psy Avenger. So there you go.
Jiminy Christmas.
I'm traumatized goats.
I am on the... Actually, I've never given my PSN name. I'm Tama Drummer. Good luck figuring that out. I have my Twitter is Scotty Mofo Show. I do unboxings. I just unboxed my tickets for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about that movie right now. But let's see, what else do? I am going to write a review for Crazy Taxi City Rush. I want to make the announcement now that I will be doing the Dreamcast Marathon for the Dreamcast's 15th anniversary. It's not for a while. It's going to be on September 6th. I'll be playing games 24/7. Last year, Josh and I did that, and it was a lot of fun. And he can tell you it stretches our sanity, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And,
I did it 2 years before that too.
Yep, he is
You did that
still
by
a
yourself,
functional
didn't you,
human
Josh?
being somehow.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm a little nervous if I end up... Tom and Stevie and Brett are going to jump in and out. I will admit I'm a little bit nervous to be there just talking to myself and a chat room while I'm playing games alone. But, hey, it'll be a good time.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I've been buying games recently to try to up my collection since I realized I didn't even own 24 games last year, and I was just replaying things that I wanted to play. So that'll be a good time, and
It'll be 24 hours of Street Fighter 3 on my
It'll-
end. So
That's great. Okay, cool. So I think that's about it. We're not gonna really have a dance party since you can't see us. Normally we end the podcast with a dance party, Josh, and
What?
and I put a disturbing gif up because I can't dance.
Yeah, and I actually like run around my room and grab things to throw in front of the camera, including my roommate's cat and other stuff. But
They're gonna see your roommate.
well, sometimes he does that, but I'm not gonna do that and stuff. So
Okay.
with us today has been Josh Act Naturally Newey
I never see you again. Bye.
and Brett the Hatfield.
Rebecca's best girl.
That's who you are? You're Rebecca's best girl?
Yeah, let's go with that. Fuck it.
Way to go. And I've been Scotty Moe. And, oh, hey, you know what? Sega Addicts is also looking for writers, so shut up. I'm remembering stuff as I go because I'm not on my laptop right now, so I'm just going by brain. Bye brain. But
I
yeah,
thought
if you want to write for us, you can email me at ScottyM, that's SCOTTYM, at SegaAddicts dot something.
Sega-Addicts.com.
Sega-Addicts.com. Thank you, Brett. This is why you're here. And or just comment on the post on the site.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun
Yes.
to write for. Josh can attest to that, right, Josh? Wasn't it fun?
Run.
Run to your email and tell me that you want to write for us right now. And hey, Josh, do you want to do like an a cappella Sonic song to sing us out, like you used to do maybe one time?
Acapella Sonic song.
Yeah, I remember one time you did the Flying Battery Zone or something. Do you remember that?
Oh boy. Okay. La 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 la
You can stop recording.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.